Shalom, yo. Says it's still going live. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great mills. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners out there, such as myself, who look like the other nations, but there's Salakia. I didn't mean to do that. Hold up. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners out there who look like the other nations or don't look like their respective tribe, but you know, who don't look, but specifically who don't look like the other nations or their respective tribe, but their spirit goes beareth witness. Well, that's how I'm more of a speckled bird than I'm not really Israelite foreigner because I look Northern Kingdom. But anyway, shalom to Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but their spirit bears witness that they're the children of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And shalom to the real sisters out there. Alright. I was on my Twitter feed and article and a brother posted an article about the coming meat shortage. And it's coming by the end of this of the week. And that's how. Let me show y'all. Yeah. NBC News. Groceries could see meat shortages by the end of the week. This is not the time to pig out, it's never the time to do that. Especially not now, but if you know what I mean. You don't fuck with that pork shit. Well, it means being a glutton. Also. Well, it means being a glutton, but because it says pig out. That's why I said that. But let me get to the article. Beef, chicken, and pork could be as scarce as toilet paper soon because so many meat processing plants have been temporarily shut down amid the coronavirus pandemic. Industry experts are warning. We've just completed our third week of reduced slaughter and production, quote unquote. Dennis Smith, the commodity broker / livestock analyst with Archer Financial Services in Chicago, said, quote unquote, my guess is that about 1 week out, perhaps around May 1st, shortages will begin developing. Not a coincidence. Shortages will begin developing at retail meat counters. Overall, meat production is down 25%, Smith said, which is a huge decline. And it tells you it might be time to save some bacon, which really you shouldn't be saving that shit. Shouldn't be fucking with pork. And now y'all are not going to be able to buy pork. That's one of the meats that there's going to be a shortage of. It dropped the amount of pork and foraged Slovakia frozen storage dropped last month by 4% to 621 million pounds, the Department of Agriculture reported last week. Quote unquote, the cause of the shortage is reduced production due to labor issues at the packing plants, like Smith said. Some plants have closed for deep cleaning and will remain closed until the employee base has recovered from the virus. That's the story that they're telling us, but we know that's bullshit, but that's their excuse to bring about this famine. Others are implementing safety procedures, which in effect slows processing speed at the plants. Case in point, the Smithfield Foods plant in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the state that is now one of the nation's biggest coronavirus hotspots, was closed, according to Esau again, was closed after 2 workers died and 783 others tested positive for the virus. Yes, when Esau starts saying some bullshit, I'm gonna be like, according to Esau. And that was according to Esau too. 783 others tested positive for the virus. Which, of course, they tested positive. Esau gave it to them. And, all right, let me stay on topic. Right now, there is enough meat to feed American appetites. In fact, the 502 million pounds of beef in warehouse freezers was up 2% from the previous month, while the amount of chicken in storage dropped slightly to about 921 million pounds, according to the Agriculture Department. But the pandemic, there's another article concerning the Agriculture Department that I'm going to go into too. But the pandemic has clogged the pipeline for getting more meat to grocery stores, the experts said. Quote unquote, there are likely to be meat shortages in select parts of the country. Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to try to make this like that because it's for hours, but and just FYI, there are likely to be meat shortages in select parts of the country. Terry Riley, a senior commodity analyst at Futures International in Chicago. Riley noted that last month in Chicago, in the early days of the crisis, there was a run on chicken as fearful consumers emptied the shelves. He said there's no reason to worry just yet about meat shortage. So what was this is Esau all the way. So what was the title? Groceries could see meat shortages by end of week. So by the end of the week, and this is not the time to pig out. Industry experts are warning beef, chicken, and pork could be as scarce as toilet paper. But then Eric Riley, this devil, well, Terry Riley, Salakia, this devil, he's telling us there's no reason to worry just yet about a meat shortage. So, what is that? What is that? Matter of fact, I'm going to continue reading what he says first. There is a lot of frozen pork and beef sitting in freezers, so people shouldn't panic, Riley said. In San Diego, they're trying to figure out where to store all the fish that they would normally be serving the tourists. Also, meat companies have a restaurant line and a grocery line, and when restaurants closed, the companies have shifted those supplies of frozen meat to the grocery stores. Fresh meat, however, is going to be a challenge, he said. If we continue to see meat processing plant closures, that will be a problem. So, on one hand, you have this devil, Terry Riley, saying this shit, and then on the other hand, you have this. The experts weighed in as Tyson Foods took out full-page ads Sunday in the Washington Post, the New York Times, and the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, warning that the food supply is breaking. The broken reed of Egypt. Quote unquote, as pork, beef, and chicken plants are being forced to close, even for short periods of time, millions of pounds of meat will disappear from the supply chain, company board chairman John Tyson wrote. As a result, there will be limited supply of our products available in grocery stores until we are able to reopen our facilities that are currently closed. Yeah. Until we are able to reopen. And that could be whenever Esau wants to reopen it. Which these closures of these plants, could go on for a while. You already know. I mean, it's already done enough damage. The Tyson chief, whose company employs some 100,000 workers, said it's devastating to farmers too because they no longer have anywhere to sell their livestock. Quote unquote, millions of animals, chickens, pigs, and cattle will be depopulated because of the closure of our processing facilities. We ain't gonna miss. Hey, you pork eating Jakes. The days of you feasting on swine's flesh is over. Will be depopulated because of the closure of our processing facilities. And you Jakes are next. Ad read. Last week, Tyson Foods closed the meat processing plant in Pasco, Washington that produces enough beef in one day to feed 4 million people. This came on the heels of a company closing 2 pork processing plants, one in Iowa, one in Indiana, and a chicken processing plant in Tennessee because of the coronavirus. So, that's peace and safety talk, and then I'm gonna bring out that scripture because that's exactly what is going on there. and many states are reopening just in time for Beltane, May the 1st. Like Texas. Texas is reopening. So we're going to go from one crisis to another, basically. Yeah, by May 1st. Not a fucking coincidence. Salakia. Thessalonians, Salakia. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. Hold on, Akim. For those of you that don't know, I got an affliction. I got a salivary gland stone, and that causes that. And I got a spasm back there, so the combination just, it's hell. It's a hell of an affliction. And that's why I don't be speaking clearly and shit. And that's why I gotta take breaks when I'm doing lives. I still gotta do the work. Yeah. Verse 3, verse 2. I'm gonna start right here. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Adawan Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai so cometh as a thief in the night. Verse 3, for when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So, basically, it's gonna hit the majority of you Jakes, as well as the majority of you people. Yeah, it's gonna hit y'all. It's gonna hit. Yeah. I was gonna say something else, but I was gonna say it in another way, but that works. Yeah, it's gonna hit y'all by surprise out there. Sudden destruction. Y'all think that y'all are gonna be. Y'all think that y'all are gonna be all right once this shutdown is lifted. Khan, to Esdras chapter 16 verse 21. Which is pretty much precept to this. Now, I don't know why this app is tripping. Well, actually, I do. Satan is it's acting up again. Of course. I'm just gonna get it on here. Satan be messing with the app, slowing it down so I don't bring the word out. Trying to hinder and shit. Yeah. Behold, victuals shall be good, so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Hey, that article is like an example of these two precepts. Y'all thought y'all escaped from a problem. You're out of house arrest, which is basically what this is. And now, and so you escaped from one problem. You escaped from one problem, and of course they're gonna have you wear masks and shit, but you're able to go to work again, like you was before. So that y'all are gonna think yourselves to be in good case. And victuals, this was how it was before this started hitting. This applies to this situation here. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that is what you're seeing. You escape from the lockdown, you escape from that, which was causing, you escape from that, able to go out, and now, but that famine is gonna hit y'all like an uppercut, basically. You're just recovering from the gut punch, and then that uppercut is gonna hit y'all. And that's also, let me see if it's still tripping. Fucking Satan. Alright, that's alright. I'm just gonna have to get it on here. Matter of fact, I know the verse. Select. I didn't mean to do that. This shit is slow, so sometimes it'll slow down and then it'll speed back up. This basically, you click, when you click on a button multiple times or real hard or some shit, or click on the screen now since it's a cell phone. After that slow period of time, you already know, like, it will do an extra step. But yeah, let me get it. It's just gonna pull up the chapter, which is alright. I can go to the verse. Woe unto you, Amos 5:18. Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. Verse 9. As if a man did flee from a from a lion, and the bear met him, or went into the house, and leaned his hand on the wall, and the serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? And that dark day is coming. The sun is setting on this devil's empire. And every one of you that are joined unto these devils, the sun is setting on y'all too. And this is, and it's like, it's unescapable. You flee from one, and this is right now to low level, but you see how the jabs keep coming, and each one is harder than the last one. Before this, what were we talking about? Oh, we was talking about rumors of war with Iran. The locusts, I believe, were plaguing parts of the earth. And a little while before this, it was about Trump and the shutdown and all that. The shutdown hitting, and also the storms destroying the crops. So you have that too. And then now the workers out there, there's not that much of them. So just the jabs, they were not that hard. They were like, they were not that hard. You could it barely affected your life, but it still did. They were jabs that didn't really you didn't feel the impact of them right away. Basically, later on down the road, you would feel the pain, but at the moment you didn't feel it. But now that they keep coming, and they're harder. Once you think, Salakia, hate when this phone does this shit. Yeah. But anyways, you thought you thought the ass whooping was over. You thought you Yahweh about shimmy out with Shai. You thought he was done with you, when nah, it was just the beginning. And the same thing now. He's not done with you. The famine is next, and when famine economic woes, economic depression, economic woes. I'm just gonna leave it at that. When they come, then little woes like the first woe, second woe, then the third woe. First World War, Second World War, and the Third World War. And the third woe coming soon. So this famine is coming. So one example of that is the Great Depression, and then what happened after World War II. So, yeah, the thing that had been is that what shall be. Basically, history is repeating itself. That's what always happens. There's a depression, and then Esau uses the war to restart the economy. He starts a war, and it reboots production. It does all that, restarts the economy. But it's different type of economy. But you know what I'm saying? He restarts it, and so then y'all think that y'all are gonna, or they do a false flag. They have Iran nuke platform, something like that. I believe that is possible. This is what we're going to be looking at. And then the Russians. The Russians are, the Russians are going to defend their ally. And in North Korea, you have the situation with Kim Jong-un. I believe it could be that he was taken out. Hold on, I can shit locked again. And that the sister, she's even more hardcore than the brother. So sister is gonna, she may blame because when Yahweh, no, Salaki, when they're dealing treachery for the rest of the nations. Babylon is down on his weak, down on his knees, weak at the knees. It's time for the other nations to get their payback and deal treacherously with her. And there's another article that I'm going to bring out. And it really shows the weakness of Esau Edom. Hey, World War III is cooking up as we speak. This is that type of shit is coming. And when people lose it all, what happened? When people have nothing to lose, they lose it. Yeah, but okay, this is the article I was gonna get. It's retweeted by the brother by okay, thought maybe hold on. By retweeted this article. Oh, that's a good thing. Yeah, take that shit down. Take that shit down. Fucking Trump. Yeah, I'm gonna a very active 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. See, you also have that coming too. You have more jabs. You have way more. You have more jabs, that harder hitting ones that are coming. The snare is in place. That's right. Maybe this is the where you gotta look about what these devils did. Okay, no, I ain't trying to do that. It's something different. I was just trying to show y'all that. Damn. Hold up. This is why you wicked ass bitches. That's you are. You. See, that's the type of shit that vexes me. That's the type of shit right there. Here's the article though. That's the type of shit is. That type of shit is the reason why you wicked ass Eves, you bitches are gonna die. Yeah, Hashem Yahweh Shai is gonna put y'all down. But yeah, let me get into the article. USDA let millions of pounds of food rot while food bank demand soared. This is how much of a devil he is. State officials and growers say Trump's agriculture department has been woefully slow to respond to the farm crisis caused by coronavirus. It has been woefully slow. Woe means destruction. Bringing destruction with these policies. Causing, let me thought of scripture. Yeah, bringing destruction. That's a mischief by law. Something about that. Framing mischief by law. That's what came to mind. Now see, hey, matter of fact, I'm gonna get that. So that's these devils. This is an example of that. Con. Oh, that's another one. Yeah, but this one right here, this is an example of that. Because they're using their authority to cause destruction, and it's mainly what's affecting you, Jakes. That's what these devils do. They plot, and then they do this, and they carry it out. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? That's exactly what is going on here. Tens of millions of pounds, because it is in the power of their hand, is a better one. Hold on. Yeah. Con. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. Yeah, let me get into the article. Hold on. Yeah, let me get into it. Awfully slow to respond to foreign crisis, uh, according to Esau is caused by coronavirus. Tens of millions of pounds of American grown produce is rotting in fields as food banks across the country scramble to meet a massive surge in demand, a two-pronged disaster that has deprived farmers of millions of dollars in revenue while millions of newly jobless Americans struggle to feed their families, while other federal agencies quickly adapted their programs to the coronavirus crisis. The Agriculture Department took more than a month to make its first significant move to buy up surplus fruits and vegetables despite repeated entreaties. "Quote unquote, it's frustrating," said Nikki Fried, Commissioner of Agriculture in Florida. Fried, who's a Democrat, and much of the Florida congregation asked, which they're all on the same side anyways, but I'm going to go ahead, asked Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue nearly a month ago to use his broad authority in funding to get more Florida farmers plugged into federal food purchasing and distribution programs as the food service market collapsed. Unfortunately, USDA didn't move until last week. Damn devils. Tom Vilsack, who served as Agriculture Secretary during the Obama administration, put it this way: it's not a lack of food, quote unquote, it's that the food is in one place and the demand is somewhere else, and they haven't been able to connect the dots. Which haven't been able my ass. You know, you've got to galvanize people, quote unquote. It has been 6 weeks since President Donald Trump and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention first urged Americans to avoid restaurants as part of national social distancing guidelines to, according to Esau, slow the spread of COVID-19. A move that immediately severed demands for millions of pounds of food earmarked for professional kitchens across the country. Just 50 miles from Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago, Florida growers, much of whose produce was destined for restaurant chains, faced an immediate crisis. Find customers for surplus crops or plow the fields under to avoid attracting pests. Images of farmers destroying tomatoes, piling up squash, wasteful for real, burying onions, and dumping milk shocked many Americans who remain fearful of supply shortages. At the same time, people who routinely lost their jobs lined up for miles outside some food banks, raising questions about why there has been no coordinated response at the federal level. Why ain't Egypt helping us? Why the staff of Egypt is broken and they ain't gonna fix it. You know, it's still, you know what I mean, to get the surplus of perishable food to more people in need. even as commodity groups, state leaders, and lawmakers repeatedly urged the Agriculture Department to step in. Demand at food banks has increased at an average of 70%, according to Feeding America, which represents about 200 major food banks across the country. The group estimates that 40% of those being served are new to the system, so more people are basically going to Egypt for help. Yeah, because the word is a food bank. Get his food. In mid-April, USDA unveiled a long-awaited 19 billion aid program with 3 billion set aside to buy excess food, a pot of money that would cover a major ramp up of fresh produce purchases along with dairy and meats. But federal officials predicted it would take the better part of a month before that food is packed and shipped to food banks and other non-profits in need. At that point, it will be too late for many produce growers who saw a huge drop in demand right at the peak of their season. Quote unquote. By that time comes, though, it won't help Florida. It's a broken reed, said Brittany Lee, a blueberry farmer and executive director of the Florida Blueberry Growers Association. Blueberry prices are about half of what they were this time last year, she said. The Agriculture Department said it has moved expeditiously to respond to the crisis. Yeah, shut the fuck up, devil. They're just making their move now. I mean, all this time, shut the fuck up. You know these devils, man, they speak with a forked tongue. USDA is committed to maximizing our services and flexibilities to ensure children and others who need food can get it during this coronavirus epidemic. Sure. Secretaries. They're full of shit, for real. Secretary, as usual, they're full of shit. Secretary Sonny Perdue said in a statement to Politico, "This is a challenging time for many Americans, but it is reassuring to see President Trump and our fellow..." What a load of bullshit. "And our fellow Americans stepping up to the challenge, facing us to make sure kids and those facing hunger are fed." So they gotta do their little damage control now. Department officials denied requests to discuss the government's approach to capturing the perishable food glut. Hold on now. A spokesperson products every year to schools, food banks, tribal organizations, and others. Farmers harmed by the trade war, because that was going on. They're wanting you to believe that, oh, it's the so-called pandemic and the so-called preventative measures that is causing this shortage. But nah, this is that's just the Rona is just being scapegoated for the collapse of the dollar. That's what's really going on. China was beating America in the trade war. There was already, and that just basically that basically the dollar was through after that. And now this is just adding to it. But it's really just a scapegoat, something that they can blame for the collapse of the dollar. Yeah. Nonetheless, the coronavirus catastrophe has laid bare just how tied up in red tape the USDA's commodity buying system can be. The process typically takes months from start to finish. Yeah, 'cause it's a broken reed. What do you use? In other words, it's a broken reed. And the department has historically focused on buying foods that can be stored for long periods, like canned fruits and meats and cheeses, and so is not accustomed to handling the influx of fresh foods. Yeah. Sudden plunge in demand in March, about a week after much of the country shut down. Restaurants, events, and other food service businesses. Several produce groups wrote to USDA with the urgent plea to buy perishable commodities because at least 1 billion was sitting stagnant in the supply chain, quote unquote. There is no reason these high quality, nutritious farmer grown products should be left in facilities to rot when there are so many American families who are suddenly faced with food insecurity. The group wrote to Purdue. These growers and companies are already donating their food banks and others in need and will continue, but they are facing their own economic crisis. The department did not make any fresh purchases in response to that request. According to USDA records, Purdue has yet to respond to the letter. Because you don't give a fuck. Think these devils care? You're going to find out. You're going to find out you trusted in a broken reed. Con. Hey, now, 2 Kings, 18:21. Now behold, thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt unto all that trust on him. And that's a mistake that you Jakes continue to make, trusting in Egypt. And y'all are doing the same shit. There's a precept to that, which basically says the same thing. Hold on. Con Isaiah verse Isaiah 33 verse 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him. Notice it talks about that if a man lean it will go into his hand and pierce it. That should remind you of something. That was when, in the time period, hold on, Akim. In this time period, it was about Assyria coming against Judah, which it was not meant to happen. Assyria was not. Judah was going to go into the captivity of the Babylonians and not the Assyrians. It didn't happen. There's something else. Broken the staff of bread. Hold on, Akim. see this one. That's happening. Happened then, it's happening now. And she has changed my judgments into wickedness. It's verse 6. More than the nations, and my statutes more than the countries that are round about her. For they have refused my judgments and my statutes, and they have not walked in them. More wicked than the wicked. It applied then and applies now. Yeah, verse 2, verse 12. This, happened before, it's going to happen again. A third part, except worse, a third part of these shall die with the pestilence and with famine. Shall they be consumed in the midst of thee, and the third part shall fall by the sword round about thee, and I will scatter third part into all the winds, and will draw out a sword after them. So that's what happened to 2/3. Well, that's what happened to our people. That's what happened to our people, but y'all are gonna. Y'all are going into. It's gonna happen again. Y'all are gonna die with pestilence and with famine and with sword. Y'all are gonna try to flee from the sword, but y'all ain't gonna be able to flee. You can run, but you can't hide. Or am I gonna break the staff? It talks about breaking. They broke the staff of bread. Yahweh Shai broke the staff of bread, which is what is happening here. Khan right here. Hold on though. Khan, a famine, which shall be for their destruction. That's what's happening. So send upon you famine. In other places, it's spoken of. In other places in the Bible too, it happened before to our people. It's gonna happen again. And they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, Yahweh, have spoken it. And that's what you see happening here. And so you Jakes need to get right. And 1/3 of y'all will get right. But 2/3 of y'all, that is how y'all are gonna die. Shit, hold up. God, Jeremiah 15, verse 12. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahweh, such as are for death, to death, and such as for the sword, to the sword, and such as for the famine, to the famine, and such as for captivity, to captivity. Verse 3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith Yahweh, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heavens, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. Yeah. And so, yeah, he did that to our people before. He's gonna do it to our people on a bigger scale. This is gonna make the Babylonian captivity look like a look like a look like a game of like a game of two-hand touch football. And there's another verse that I'm thinking of. Hold on. Yeah, thought. Oh yeah. Oh Khan. Lamentations 4:9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. So if you get it's better if you get put to death by Esau, or if you get robbed and put to death, or rape. Well, or okay, then. Not that. But you get put to death in some kind of way. Whether it be with the actual sword, with the gun, the knife, with the with a bat, with a baseball bat, like what that devil did to that Jake in Fort Wayne. With a car, we also used the car too. With the, it's better for you to get put to death with the sword, with the weapon, basically. It's better than that. It's better than dying of starvation. Because your body, it basically eats itself from the inside. And you start looking like this. Just to give y'all a visual. Just to give y'all a visual of how you start looking. What these Levites are going through. Levi been going through it. So they put hell on those French Edomites. Esau is making them pay really because of their witchcraft and shit. Because they was the priests. They have a heavy role in us going off. No. That's why they're catching so much hell. But even for them, this is going to be a worse time. In fact, it already started over there with the protests that they were having and the government clamping down. Jacob's trouble is coming to America. They see what's happening here. It's going to be a time like never before. So what you see here, Babylonians are going to be way worse off. And you Babylonians, myself included, I was raised in this society. So we have all been conditioned to not be able to go without food, not even for a few hours. It's hard enough for that to happen. Imagine for days and weeks. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Skin and bones. In the literal sense. Look at that shit. You Eves. You Eves. Even you Eves that like to call yourself big boned. Well, we're going to see how big your bones really are in that day. It's going to, hey, the judgment that is coming to you, wicked 2/3, Jakes and Eves, is no joke. It's no laughing matter. But you people want to take it as one. So this is what's going to happen. And I keep emphasizing this because it needs to be drilled into your head. Y'all, repetition is how you get something right, is how you remember something. How you get others, how you get someone else to remember something. This is what, because I've called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. Verse 25, but ye have said not among my counsel with none of my reproof. Verse 26, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Verse 27, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you. Verse 28, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Verse 29, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh. Verse 30, they would none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. Verse 31, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, that does not fill your stomach, and be filled with their own devices. 32, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Y'all think y'all good because y'all doing good right now. But that shit is changing. That shit is actually, I can't even say it's about to change. It is changing as we speak. As I speak. It's changing as I speak. But yeah, hey, this is like when a brother told me something that basically sums this up. Basically, it's like a real life example of this, of Proverbs 28 to 31. And basically, y'all ever had a toddler, like a little, for those of y'all that have sons, or for those of y'all that have sons, yeah, you have a toddler, a little 2-year-old boy, and you tell him to do something, or even 3 years old, maybe even 4, but you tell him to do something, or you tell him to stop doing something, stop playing like that, like, and he don't, and he eats shit. He basically falls on his face. And what do you do? What do? You start laughing. No, because you told him not to do that shit. You told him to stop, and he continued. And then he ate shit. And hey, that's why I said it's an example of Proverbs 26 really to 31 right here. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. And that's 2/3 of Israel. Y'all are sawdish children, for real. Y'all are sawdish children. Let me get that. Fuck. The fuck. There's nothing there. I don't look that shit up. I got this. Someone else gave me this phone. People are into weird shit. But yeah, sawdish children. Right here. Right. No. I don't want to hear their opinion about it. Jeremiah 4 verse 22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. And reason why they have no knowledge is in Proverbs, and the verses in Proverbs that are read. That's the reason why. And really it goes back to this. Yeah. I'm gonna get this one because that's David. That's the Psalm of David, the one that Paul was referring to. I think Shai referred to it too. Let their eyes, Psalm 69 verse 23, let their eyes be darkened, that they see not, and make their loins continually shake. Verse 24, pour out thine indignation upon them, and let thy wrathful anger take hold of them. Let their habitation be desolate, let none dwell in their tents. For they persecute him who thou hast smitten, and he talk to the grief of those whom thou hast wounded. Add iniquity unto their iniquity, let them not come into thy righteousness. Verse, that was 27, this is 28. Let them be blotted out of the book of the living, and not be written with the righteous. Yeah, I was trying to get to the point. Yeah, we are sorrowful, but I am poor and sorrowful. Let thy salvation, O Yahweh, set me up on high. It's verse 29. Verse 30. I will praise the name of Yahweh with the song, will magnify him with thanksgiving. Yeah, hold up. I was trying to find that where it says let a table. Let their table be a snare. Yeah, right here. Verse 22. Yeah, man. Verse 21. They gave me also gall for my meat, and in my thirst they gave me vinegar to drink. Hey, I think that's where the brothers get vinegar water from. And you devils, that's what y'all gonna get in the kingdom. I'm gonna be serving that shit up to y'all. Like when it's your time, when y'all are gonna need some shit to drink. Y'all are gonna be out. Y'all are gonna be dying from thirst. From busting your ass in the fields all day for days. Hey, that's what I'm gonna give y'all. But hey, yeah, this is talking about. Well, these devils are our adversaries too. They do give us gall for meat. They we eat our bread defiled among the Gentiles, and the meat is defiled too. But these 2/3, hold on. These 2/3, that's what they do. Hold on. With giving us some, they was feeding us unclean foods growing up and shit. That's our family members. Well, really, it talks about they reward us with evil, basically. Basically. We already going through shit. Our own people may give us more hell. And that's why verse 22 says, let their table become a snare before them, and that which have been for their welfare, let it become a trap. Hey, that's exactly that was the curse that David was. Well, basically, David was wanting them to was wanting them to Yahbashem Yahushai to judge him. He was actually cursing them in the name of cursing these 2/3 in the name of Yahbashem Yahushai. He was cursing them. So, and this curse is coming to pass. 2/3. He said, let our blood be upon, let his blood be upon us and our children, when he was talking about betraying Yahushai to Esau. Well, that's literally gonna happen. That's gonna continue to happen because y'all continue. It's gonna happen again and in a big way, because y'all still rejected Yahushai. Y'all steady rejecting, like talking down to the prophets, not hearing what we have to say, not hearing the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Y'all are continuing to be rebellious. Y'all are continuing to choose Caesar, the Rothschilds, Cesare Borgia over Yahushai. David the Rothschild, which he's not worthy of that name. You continue to choose the elites of Esau over Yahushai. And so, by trusting in Esau, the modern day Egyptians, y'all are going to be pierced through. Your hand is going to be pierced through, well, with a needle. And y'all are going to take that chip because y'all trust in this broken reed of Egypt. This bruised reed. That table is, table you put food on. So y'all want to eat at the table of devils. Well, that table is gonna become a snare before y'all, and it's supposed to be for your welfare. It's gonna become a trap. Hold up, hold up, hold up. All right, Salakia for that. Amos. Let me get Amos. Go back to Amos 5:18. Yeah, right here. 5:19. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and the serpent bit him. That's exactly what's going to happen. You trust in this devil so much, he's going to bite you. And so, yeah, y'all need to come out of her. Stop trusting in your enemy. Trust not thine enemy. Trust not thine enemy. Come out of her, my people. Come out of that mindset. His name is Yahushai. Yahushai watches over. Well, yeah, he's got his angels watching over his servants. His name is not Jesus. There was no J back then. And he is a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah. From the house of David. Those are facts. He was born in Bethlehem. He was born in Bethlehem. He was born to an Israelite family who were in touch with their heritage. They spoke Hebrew and everything. So, yeah, miss me with that shit. I choose Yahushai. He was born to an Israelite family who were in touch with their heritage. They spoke Hebrew and everything. So, yeah, miss me with that shit. Yeah. How shy. That's his name. Hold up. I'm always blocked from my channel. So-called Christians are corny. Esau is probably blocking. He's probably not. Yeah, not He's probably not. No, he's not notifying. He's not notifying people. He's not letting the notifications go out that I'm going live. You already know that. I'm gonna see something. If I get all notifications, then you know Esau be hiding our lives, so you gotta hit that notification bell if you wanna. Yeah, y'all, you gotta hit that notification bell if you wanna be notified of it. You know how these devils be. But yeah, the serpent Esau Edom, he's gonna bite you. You're gonna you're gonna trust in them when that famine hits, just like you trust in them now. It's like you always trust in this devil. You always trust in your enemies. You're gonna trust in your enemy again and get betrayed. Get stabbed in the back, bit in the hand. And so yeah, this is the news update to warn warn the sheep, and to also to wake up the to warn the sheep, and whether they take heed or not. Mark y'all for deliverance or for destruction. Either way, the blood is off my hands. And so, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire, shalom to the Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but their spirit beareth witness that they're the children of Yahweh Shem Shai, and shalom to the real sisters out there. Alright, stay strong. Akim Wa Akwath. Until next time, shalom.